Hello, everybody. Today I'm going to be complaining about the New York City subway system. Fair disclaimer, I've been a New Yorker for 3 months, so I probably have the least qualifications to complain about something. This is, again, a first world problem, as most of my videos are, so take it with a grain of salt. Subway system is relatively fine. I've been using it almost every day for the past 3 months, but as with all things, it could be better, and for a lack of better words, it is far from perfect. Because there are so many things, I actually wrote down a list of things that I'm going to talk about, starting with the basics. Safety. As you get into the New York subway, as someone who's used Korean transportation, public transportation, I was initially shocked, still kind of confused as to why there's no gates or doors or safe ways as you enter the subway station. People will still get pushed into the railroad, oftentimes weak, helpless, older people, and then they get crushed by the coming subway. I've had a personal experience of a subway in front of me actually running over someone, and me being stuck in a subway that couldn't move because the subway in front of them just hit someone else. I am no government expert, and I'm not going to be making any political statements, but I wonder where these New York City high taxes go if they can't even build automatic door gates for these highly dangerous high-speed vehicles that can run over people, and people can easily push people into that railway system. Safety, big concern. Whenever I get onto the subway, it's always a gamble of which negative thing you might walk into. You might walk into that one subway with a bunch of people that are kind of crazy in the head. How to resolve that is a different issue. Whether they deserve the right to be on the subway, also a different issue. Just as a user of the subway, there are oftentimes, where you walk into the subway and there's just people that are constantly annoying you or trying to talk to you or laying all over the place that people can't sit when they're supposed to. You're making a gamble every time you walk into a subway car. There could be food and smelling things and just unclear what it is. Things spill on the ground, spill on the seats. The worst case scenario I've seen of this is one time I was about to walk into a car, and as the gates were closing and I had just entered a different car, I witnessed the guy in the other box pooping literally on into the seat of the cart while the people were in there. The car obviously had to stop. Everyone evacuated the subway car. Everyone was in full pause. People had to come on and clean the poop and not use that car for the rest of the day, I presume. Every time you get into the subway, you're gambling to make sure that you're getting in the right car. Sometimes the subway just stops working with no disclosure, no warning beforehand. The one line, the 7, the N, the W, the R, whatever you take, the E, that you take every single day just happens to stop running for that day, so you have to figure out what you take the other way around. Perhaps I'm just dumb and maybe there is an coherent system, and I understand that there's certain colors and certain lines and certain numbers, and one goes from north to south, up and down, others go from left and right, but there's no coherent system. So if you happen to be taking the N and the N's not running, you're supposed to take the W, for example. The letters N and W have no relevance to each other. There just is a lack of clarity a lot of times. The apps are all over the place. Google Maps a lot of times is wrong. It says a train is coming for a certain time, but unless it has the green number time, it's not actually coming. The delays are quite frequent. Once again, first world problems, but things are not very clear and things get canceled all the time. In the train, things get really confusing. Not every train is equipped with signage as to whether or not this train is going this direction or the other direction, what station is next. Oftentimes it's very unclear what express means versus local. I don't know what the two differentiations still to this day is. The signs are often confusing. It should just say uptown or downtown or left and right to make it easier, but instead it has signage all over the place and has things like local only on blank time between this and this lane, use the other lane for this, and use a free shuttle if this is not running. I wish there was just very clear of this is not running today, this is coming this way, this will take you this way. I don't have solutions for this, but it's just very confusing. When you're in the car, The conductor sometimes doesn't tell you what the stop is. The train just keeps going. It stops. The signage outside the door is not very clear, so you're never really sure where you are. In the few chances they do declare where you are, it's muffled, or they say it's super fast, or there's an accent that you can't understand. Once again, these aren't supposed to be derogatory comments. You just want to know where you're going, and I think it's not a very high bar for them to announce the station that you're at, the station that you're about to head into, and the direction the car is headed towards. Many times you see this happening, but sometimes you don't, and I feel like that's a basic necessity a subway should have. A couple questions I have while running the subway. As you get out, there's a door called emergency exit only. Doesn't seem to be very emergent. People push it all the time to bypass the gateway and not pay for the tickets, allow their peers who don't have the tickets in to come in by leaving the door open. If that's the case, why not just leave the door open permanently and have people go in and out all the time? I'm not really sure why it's designated an emergency gate. If nothing, there's no alarm that goes off if you open the gate. That's openable anywhere. I've seen people open it in front of police officers, in front of security guards, without any of them blinking an eye. So if you're going to name it emergency exit, then make it an actual emergency exit. If not, then just allow anyone to open it at any time, which seems to be the case that it is. Different trains run at different paces, which I understand is probably because there's an actual conductor and it's a manually operated train. But at the same time, I guess not, because I actually had an occurrence where I was on a train and the train stopped and the door wouldn't open for about 5 minutes and everyone was like, what's going on? The conductor said the train thought that we skipped the station that we're already at and they were unable to manually open the door to let people out, which tells me that there is an automatic component to the train that is somehow signaled and notified that you are at a station, and if that station is missed, you can't open the door. So I was forced to go to the next station and ride the train back in the opposite direction. So there's some kind of automatic component, but it's also manually operated, which confuses me as to why different trains run at different paces. And I'm talking about drastically different paces. Obviously, it should be safe. If a train in front of it has been stalled, you should go slowly. But some trains go at snail pace, and other trains go so fast that you can't even adjust yourself as the stop closes and opens. Just questions. I think that overall, amongst all this, the New York City subway is a great time. It's a very affordable way to get to places. I would say top of mind solutions / things that they should work on are the safe doors that open and close and don't allow people to get pushed into the railway, clarity around different groupings of trains and what to take when something fails. That to be more clear. Every train should be at least equipped with what direction they're going and the next train stop, so people don't constantly get scared with anxiety. If it's not, then conductors should announce it very clear, loud, and frequently, so that people aren't anxious. Google Maps should update properly. We should probably avoid pooping in carts as much as possible. I just think there's a couple of quick fixes that don't even require money that would make the experience far more consistent and not worrisome. I guess some first world nice to have, some very selfish demands that probably make me sound pretentious, but most subways in other first world countries have Wi-Fi. It's quite annoying to have it be constantly broken. As soon as you get into a train, it goes for a while, the Wi-Fi's broken, the internet gets disconnected and then reconnects. Internet on trains, I feel like it's not that hard of a thing to do. I don't know if gating it for sure so that it does not allow people that can't afford the fares is fair or not. Obviously, in a fair system, you should allow for that. I know the New York City mayor announced getting rid of homeless folks from subways. I have mixed feelings around that, but overall, I think it's often hard to go in and listen to someone play the bagpipes in the train and pretend to be at least attentive to it, because you kind of feel bad, but at the same time, you shouldn't feel forced to give them money or give them attention if you just want to be on your way. And I often had occurrences where people get mad if you don't give them money. Long story short, I appreciate the New York City subway system. I will continue to use it. I'm in no position to fix it. I just hope that no one poops in front of me ever again. Thank you guys for watching. If you ever see me in the New York City subway system, say hi to me. As long as you're not playing a bagpipe. And as always, I will see you guys next time. Maybe on the 7 or the E. Let's go.